In April of 1999, after 3 long, hard, and emotionally excruciating years of enduring continual gender discrimination, the letter finally came, noting the official decision made by the United States Office of Civil Rights, determining that the public school system responsible for educating and keeping her safe was in fact guilty of sexual discrimination against her. She refused to be a victim. She refused to be silenced. She refused to be discriminated against. And with strength and courage, she stood up against the athletic department and football powerhouse of her local school district in her hometown. And she won. She is a trailblazer. She is a powerlifter. She is a champion. She is me. I am Ashley Ritchie Grooms, and today I would like to speak to you all about a law that is important to every single female athlete across our nation, Title IX. Signed into law on June 23, 1972 by President Richard Nixon, the Title IX clause of the Federal Education Amendments states that no person in the United States shall, on the basis of sex, be excluded from participation in, be denied the benefits of, or be subjected to discrimination under any education program or activity receiving federal financial assistance. Failure of educational institutions to comply with Title IX legislation has led to various lawsuits, including mine against the Stephenville Independent School District, which I won in 1999. Gender equality is at the very heart of human rights, and achieving gender equality is at the core to the commitments of Title IX. However, despite much progress being made in securing women's rights in the decades since its inception, many women and girls continue to experience discrimination and continue being denied equality in sports. According to the United States Department of Education, there are various examples of the types of discrimination that are covered under Title IX, including but not limited to sexual-based harassment, the failure to provide equal athletic opportunity, and retaliation, all 3 of which I was subject to. Discrimination is defined by the Britannica as the intended or accomplished differential treatment of persons or social groups for reasons of certain generalized traits, including on the basis of gender. Gender discrimination and violence against women, especially involving sports in our school systems, is deeply rooted and tends to be persistent and systematic. In my case, the athletic director influenced his coaches, who in turn influenced both male athletes and their families alike in the thought process that females did not belong in male-dominated sports, and therefore I did not belong. Unfortunately, in recent years, there has been a recurrence of skepticism against and denial of standards concerning women's equality in sports, especially with the introduction of transgenders competing in women's divisions against naturally born women. So women are not only having to fight for the equality and rights to simply compete, but now must also fight to be allowed fair competition against other naturally born women. For example, in the sport of powerlifting, on the high school and collegiate levels, athletes are divided by gender and weight classes. I am classified as a super heavyweight and compete against other women within my weight range. Science and common sense would dictate that not to be fair to place me in competition with someone significantly smaller than me, as I am very likely to outlift them, as I am significantly larger and more capable than them. However, I also cannot effectively compete against a man of the same size and stature, as common sense and science dictates that he is going to be naturally stronger than I am. In 2023, the American College of Sports Medicine reported that biological sex is, in fact, a determinant of athletic performance. Males are faster, stronger, and more powerful than females because of fundamental sex differences in anatomy and physiology dictated by sex chromosomes. For this reason, I personally believe standards for competing should be based on the athlete's gender at birth. In 2002, following the death of Title IX's co-author, U.S. Representative Patsy Mink, was officially renamed the Patsy Mink Equal Opportunity in Education Act. She is a true trailblazer. She is a hero to many women, including myself. Patsy Mink was the first woman of color elected to the U.S. House of Representatives and the first Asian American woman to serve in Congress. In addition to writing bills like Title IX, the Early Childhood Education Act, and the Women's Educational Equity Act, she worked tirelessly for women's rights, civil rights, and economic justice. Patsy Mink was quoted in saying, "We have to build things that we want to see accomplished in life and in our country based on our own personal experience to make sure that others do not have to suffer the same discrimination." End quote. Throughout my entire high school powerlifting career, I was in the throes of my Title IX lawsuit against the athletic department of my school. In short, it was social suicide. But I managed to be a state qualifier all 4 years, placing 7th in state competition my sophomore year, 5th my junior year, and state champion Class 4A my senior year. The letter stating my Title IX victory came just weeks after my successful high school lifting career ended. But my story did not end there. In January of 2004, lifting on the professional level in the unlimited division of the American Powerlifting Association, I set the Texas bench press record for super heavyweight women. I also went on to become a certified judge for the Texas High School Powerlifting Association and the Texas High School Women's Powerlifting Association, and continue to this day advocating for, training, and lifting up other young women athletes in my sport. I am walking, talking, living proof of why Title IX is so important to women athletes. Now, I understand that these issues are becoming increasingly complicated in today's society, with gender neutrality and transgenderism on the rise, causing the issues and their responses to be dramatically different. I simply encourage each of you to stay up to speed on Title IX by monitoring and staying current on its regulations, guidance, and case laws, not only nationally, but in your individual states, as well as your individual school districts. Know their responses to each of those items. Most importantly, I challenge you to answer the question, what if it were your daughter? And simply react accordingly. Thank you for your time.